cousin.
I'm Shalandra. I'm cousin of Charleston White. In the late 90s. When I was younger, about age 11, I was at my cousin's house, which is his mother. I was in the restroom taking a bath, and Charleston came in and asked me to play house. I am very deeply scarred by it. I don't give a what he say, and if he watching, I don't give a what you talking about, because, only God knows the truth, and he sit high and he look low, so that's your spirit at the end of the day.
I don't know who Charleston White enemies are.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. This seemed like a case of, what's her name? The girl that slept with her cousin? Like, y'all both victims. I'm not saying Charleston White ain't do nothing wrong, but it sounded like y'all both was underage, bro. Like, it's a lot of stuff going on in the black household that isn't addressed. That's why I respect my parents for shielding and protecting me so much, because they both went through it. My mom and my dad went through some like weird shit with their family. You feel me? And I see why they black sheep. And as I got older, that's why I know my family ain't surprised that I don't fuck with none of my family on my mom's side or my dad's side. Because it's like, you're not doing nothing to heal the family, bro. People are just abiding by stuff. And the older I get, the more I realize your family ain't your family, right? But this is playing house with your cousin is crazy. I didn't go through this phase, and I had a cool cousin. Feel me? I had a couple cool cousins. But I didn't grow up with no super big family and stuff. But I don't know, bro. I'm not saying that her feelings isn't validated either, because she definitely got violated.
But I be getting random emails, and it started about 2 years ago, just random emails. Yo, Flacco, yo, cover this Charleston White cousin story. And I kind of avoided it, never really touched it, because I'm not breaking a story where I don't have any paperwork, facts, or proof about. But now that the cousin has gone public, we could talk about it. So she claims that Charleston White was about 20 years old, which would be between 1997 to 1999.
I didn't know that. I thought they was underage.
Which entirely depends on which one of Charleston White ages on the internet you believe.
Nah, I'm thinking they like 8 and 9 years old. 20 years old is crazy. Play house at 20 years old? How old is your cousin? All right, Charlie White. We know he ain't mentally sound. You know what I'm saying? All right, Charlie. That's crazy.
But the date is really important and it really matters, and it will come back when people are trying to figure out who to believe in this situation. But a cousin will claim that this is not a secret, that the family knows what happened, and that she has proof.
Well, when I was younger, about age 11, I was at my cousin's house, which is his mother. And I was in the restroom taking a bath, and Charleston came in and asked me to play house. I'm like, what? Because I'm thinking, I'm knowing he my cousin. I mean, just got out to CYC. I'm here, we chilling, whatever. He came in and just started forcefully pushing himself on me. At the time, I didn't just know what to do because, again, I was young. However, I did tell my parents about it, and so we got some legal things going on, and we had some things situated and safe. I could have pressed charges on him, but why would I? That's my family.
I'm not a woman. I've never been through this. I've never experienced this. However, I know women who've been, and the first thing they tell me is an experience like no other. It's traumatic. And the amount of resentment and hate you carry with you for that person is lifelong, and it's immense. So her saying she has no resentment for Charleston White, even though she's claiming that Charleston White her when she was 11 years old, to me, that's, I don't know. I'm not a woman, so I guess
Look, bro, you can't tell a human being how they're gonna react, how they're supposed to react. Bro, you could literally try to go save a girl. You could try to go save a minor that's on the street right now, that's selling her body like a 304 that got a pimp and everything. She'll pepper spray you. No matter how much she's being misused, right? You got women that are with guys that are getting beating her in the face. And she like, no, don't touch him. She'll go to war about him. If you see a girl in public getting hit by her dude and you break it up, they will both whoop your ass. Literally, both of them. So when it comes to psychology, bro, you're not a neuroscientist. You're not a neurologist. You can't dictate I just slid a neurologist DM today. I'm like, I'm trying to learn about neurology. That shit was lame, bro. I shot a shot today on this girl. I ain't gonna lie to you. So all I'm saying is, when it comes to situations like people admitting they're like, my dad, he used to tell me shit subconscious. He's like, my auntie sat on my face when I was 9. He been telling his family that the whole time. They don't talk about it. They don't address it. They don't have meetings. We don't kick people out the family. We don't shun people. We don't have conversations. No accountability. And she was 11 years old. She can't even process what's happening to her. And even if she do process it, if nobody in the family care, you're gonna not want to be outcasted from the family. Because certain families, like in the South, bro, I'm gonna tell y'all how it is in the South. Everybody gonna act cool. Everybody gonna come to grandma's house, even though it's a bunch of bullshit going on. Everybody still gonna come to grandma's house and have dinner. Where I'm from the West Coast. So even though all my family ain't fuck with each other, we ain't fake kick it neither. If we not cool with each other, we not gonna be around each other. When we cool with each other, we gonna be around each other. But usually every family reunion for my family on the West Coast, even though they from the South too, they just moved to the West Coast. And like my mom's side of the family, they from Alabama and all that, in Louisiana. So they just moved to the West Coast later on and had my mama and them in the 60s and the 50s. And my dad, man. Anyway, though, y'all ain't here for my genealogy. All I'm saying is, when it comes to situations like women being manipulated or taken advantage of or being violated, and the way they go about it, you can never dictate that. There's women that are still with their abusers to this day, and they view them as stand-up men in their life. And they will not tell on them neither. To this day, there's women that are with men that violated them when they were young or something like that. And they're with them and they're not going to tell on them. I'm telling y'all the truth. It's women that have got, like, it's so many situations. Y'all be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if this situation lead to a bunch of other women coming out. But then you got to remember, this was a jailed little nigga too. Aggressive, like, if you listen to Charleston White and the way he talked and his behavior, and especially around this age, imagine when Charleston White was 20. He said he was a follower. He said when he joined the gang, and it was because he wanted to be cool. When he got the dude to shoot him, he was trying to sound cool. He always been a follower type. He the type dude you beat up in the hood. Like, you gotta whoop, like Charleston White, you probably whoop his ass. Because I grew up outside fighting. I don't know about y'all. I grew up in Vallejo, California. I grew up outside fighting, nigga. Early 2000s. I didn't grow up in the 90s, but I grew up in the early 2000s where we played outside all day. Charleston White said he was in jail his whole childhood. He didn't get to play house when he didn't get to hump girls, and not with my cousin. I didn't do that shit, but I did play house with girls in apartments when I was 7 and 6. I was humping when I was 5. Bro, we was in girls' house when we was 5. I ain't gonna lie to you. They know that hood shit. Shit, I remember my mom, she had a girl best friend. And they had 2 daughters, and we went over there one time. And I'm 7, 5, 6 trying to get active. I remember. That obviously comes from, now that I'm older, that comes from movies and programming. That shit wasn't okay neither. But I was literally 5. Bro, my mom got stories of me getting caught under the bed with girls when I was 3. You feel me? So, like, there's certain things that you go through as in a development stage as a young kid that has to be corrected and things have to be addressed. But there's also room for error. But, like, you being 20 years old acting like you 10, that make me think, like, you still, like, that would let me know, like, he's still a grown child. Like, he never matured and developed correctly. Because he didn't get an actual childhood. He got an in-prison childhood. So that's how you know the system. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I'm saying this is how the system really, like, fuck you up.
I can't judge. But when trying to figure out if somebody is credible or not, you got to read into everything. I'm reading into that. That don't quite make sense to me personally, to be honest. Now, she would also say that she didn't file any charges against Charleston White. Here's the thing. She's claiming that she was a child. In the state of Texas, there's no such thing as a statute of limitation. She could go down right like at this moment, to the police station and file charges against Charleston White and start and launch an official investigation.
I didn't know that.
Her choosing not to do that even presently and currently, I don't know. To me, that's a red flag as well. Because if this man did this to you and you have a legal pathway to get justice, you can file charges against them right now and force the police to investigate and talk to everybody involved, including your family members, yourself. Why wouldn't you go down that path if he did something to you so heinous, especially if you're willing to come public and, I guess, accuse him publicly?
If you're willing to do an interview, at least get the paperwork on it, at least go through the police procedures. Because if you're going to talk to interviews and get paid off interviews or whatever you're trying to do, bash Charleston White, like, maybe Charleston White was giving her money and he ain't giving her money no more. I don't know. Because, a lot of times people be cool as long as they get paid. As soon as they stop getting paid, that's when the Diddy situation started happening. Like, if Diddy was paying people off the whole time, he probably would have got away with a lot of shit, bro. If you got to think about it, bro. You know how people be like, oh, that's karma or that's this. You could kind of say energetically that they self-sabotage themselves because that was their own karma, them not being able to control themselves. But if you just tap them with self-control, these niggas could get away like a little bit of self-control. Like, think about it, bro. If Diddy was paying everybody off, I be always think about this. YBC Dole, Lil Jeff. If they would have just moved to LA, they would have beat the streets. If they would have moved to just somewhere like that wasn't where they was from and just start doing music, they could have beat the streets, bro. All the hats they caught, everything they did, they could have just changed their life. You know? But hey, man, I forgot what point I was making with that.
Then you should be willing to publicly accuse them in a court of law and have him face his accuser. But if you're not going to have him face his accuser, but instead you're going to go on to platforms of dudes who hate him and say this about him, then what's the point? What's the purpose? You still have the legal pathway to get justice. Go get justice. Now, she would claim that apparently everybody in her family know about this. People know about this. And she would also claim that Charleston White tried to pay her not to come forward and to sweep this under the rug.
End of the day, I don't have any hatred for him. I'm not trying to damage who he is. I don't watch him. I don't do any of that because I'm still rather scarred by it. I go to therapy. I do a couple of things to have my sanity. I mean, I'm not like the everyday person who is able to deal with it. There's everyday people that's dealing with it. That's not my life. I'm okay, you know. I mean, I don't put this in my kids' face. I don't do none of that because I want them again to have a safe and a beautiful life. You know what I mean? Whatever I've been through, that's for me to go through on my own. And God helps me with whatever I have a hard time with. Says bad things about me, but that's okay. That's His spirit at the end of the day. I'm gonna be okay. No matter how long it takes, no matter what it takes, I'm going to be okay.
Have you ever tried to contact you since then?
Oh, yeah. On Messenger, he done contacted me 3 or 4 times and even tried to pay me not to even do this. And if you didn't do it, why would you message me and tell me to meet you somewhere to pay me so I don't do this if you didn't do it?
Why not show the messages then? Yo, if Charleston White messaged you and said, hey, I want to pay you so you do not come forward with this story, why not?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. This is the same thing with the Rashad Jamal situation, bro. Every victim isn't looking for clout. Just because, even if she did it, well, she did an interview, why is she showing the messages? Because she's not a content, she's not like trying to prove to the internet that something happened to her. Like, she's not a content creator, like trying to get evidence, bro. Like, here, look, I got the facts, y'all. Like, come on, bro. Like, like, if something really happened to you, who the fuck finna tell you that something happened to you or not? I'm doing this interview to tell my story. That's her way of getting it out. That's her way of getting right with God, like, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You can't, nah. I don't agree with Flocko on this because it's like, you can't tell somebody how to go about stuff. It doesn't matter if you ran into a million victims. Everybody has a different story, bro. If she was lying, there's different ways you could go about lying with shit like this, bro. Like, if she just said she turned down money, what are we talking about here? I know it's like, oh, you can't just believe people off face value and shit, but it's like, you gotta read energy too. It ain't about what she's saying, it's her energy. You feel me? That shit still fucks with her as a grown woman. He did that shit to her in the 90s. That mean that she been fighting. She probably had to muster up so much strength to even talk about this shit online, because people are still gonna clown her. Look, Flocko clowning her, kind of. Not clowning her, but like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, this shit don't look good for her. If you don't look, like, read it right.
Not show the messages? Why not show the proof? Why not show the receipts?
She said, I'll be scared.
Because if you have receipts and proof that Charleston White is saying, hey, let me pay you not to come forward,
the eyes are shot,
then that's all the confirmation we need. Charleston, you did bad if that's the case. But if you continue to levy accusations and you're not bringing any receipts or any proof to the table, especially something like, yo, if you said he messaged you and asked you, hey, let me pay you, let's meet up, let me pay you, don't come forward with this. That should be the proof you need.
Okay, that's what it's called, Stockholm Syndrome. That's what it's called. Stockholm Syndrome. It's like when you fall in love with your abuser. I don't even have to look that up. I know what that means. That's the word I was looking for. He's admitted to taking it before. Yes, he has. He's defending him a little too hard. Flocko will defend Charleston, Adam, and Wack by any means necessary. I'm a woman. I have been told stories of women saying they have forgiven their abuser. That was a family member, by the way. Stockholm Syndrome is real too. Forgiveness is for you, not the other person. Yes, it is for you, but you don't have to go give them, you don't have to give people that closure. You don't have to give your abuser closure, because I feel like your abuser doesn't care about closure. They just want to, whatever. I don't know. She's not going to necessarily remember the exact years. He's lying. His character speaks for itself. So let's go to Charleston White part so I can end this video. Because I ain't going to lie to you, bro. How I'm looking at it, this for sure happened. You know? Because me just knowing how, like, the stories my family told me. Well, my mom never told me about nothing directly, but my dad told me about things that happened to him directly. And my dad told me that something happened to my mom. And my mom actually has told me it slipped out her, because every once in a while you talk to your parents, you'll get them vulnerable moments. And it slipped out their subconscious for both of my parents. So that's how you know a lot of things don't be lies, when they slip it out the subconscious. But everybody's not on the internet clout chasing. Like, just because he's Charleston White and he's a famous celebrity, I don't think she on some shit like, yeah, I'm trying to destroy his brand and I'm trying to become the new, like, I don't think, you know what I'm saying?
Possible that he could have committed whatever that woman is accusing him of.
Oh, let me just say something. They say I got out the boys' home in 98. I got out the boys' home in 1997. When I got out the boys' home in 1997, I went to the Cottrell house in San Antonio for a year. Now let me break it down for y'all. See, I just want to break this, say, listen, they say when he got, no. Let me break it down for you. I got out in 1997. I just sit back and just sit, man, they just go, really? 1997, released from the boys' home. Straight to Cottrell house for a year. All this is documented. My first ID ever, OG murder, I want you in here. My first ID ever is in San Antonio as a grown man at the Everett house at 20 years old. So peep game, I don't come to Fort Worth till I'm 2000. Why? I escaped from the halfway house. Let me break it down for y'all. I escaped from the halfway house, got sent back Now, where they sent me? They didn't send me back to Giddens. I went to Brownwood Sanction Unit. I'm gonna say it again. I went from the boys' home to San Antonio for a year, escaped from the boys' home, San Antonio halfway out, and went to Brownwood Sanction Unit for 120 days. So they said, well, he went, I was in San Antonio. From San Antonio, from San Antonio, I went to Fayetteville, Arkansas, to go enroll into the University of Arkansas. So as I get down there, my cousin wanted to buy some weed. I wasn't in Fort Worth yet, so this is around June, July of 98. I'm in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I'm not in Texas. I get caught with 10 pounds of weed. I ain't
gonna lie, bro. He talking about all these dates. What the fuck is he talking about? He hasn't addressed the situation one time. He's talking about all these things that happened prior. You don't give a fuck about. I guess he's trying to say like the time point that you're trying to pinpoint this happened, it didn't happen. But even if it happened 2 years before, that don't make a difference. Address the situation. Like, hey, you never came into the bath. Like, I would have started the video like, look, I never opened the door to the bathroom. I never dealt with you like that. Like, that's how you would treat, like, you're my little cousin. I've never came into the bathroom. Like, it's a different way I feel like you would go about it. Like, I've never came into the bathroom while you were in there taking a shit. I feel like that's how you start the video. Like, I've never did anything to violate you. I've always loved you. Like, something like that. I don't know. But then, somebody could be lying, talking like that too. But it still have more conviction. But he going straight to evidence. Like, look, this date I wasn't here, this date I wasn't there. That can be like manufactured too. Oh, check the date. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's like selective politicking. Selective you try to say I paid you for this. I never tried to pay you. Like, show the text message. I feel like if Charleston White said it, it'd make more sense. Like, hey, show the text messages, For Flacco to say it, it's like, why, like, Flacco, like, why would she put it up for evidence if it's true already, right? But if for Charleston White proving itself, it'll make sense for him to be like, hey, check evidence or whatever. You feel me? Trying to make a thumbnail right
caught
now.
with 10 pounds of marijuana. So I just want to sit back and just look at the lies. I'm gonna debunk them on Say Cheese TV. So I get caught with 10 pounds of weed. The whole 1999 that the man she met me, I was locked up in Oklahoma.
I'm very sensitive when it comes to accusations like this, especially from black women. So I'm trying my hardest not to just call this woman an outright liar. I'm trying my hardest. But if you're given a day and say, yo, this happened in 99, or let's say 98. 98, he was in San Antonio. 99, he was in jail. Then it's hard for me not to say, yo, this is not credible. At all. Now, again, I don't got no issues with the dudes who are pushing this. They don't like Charleston White. I don't know their reasons for not liking Charleston White. I'm sure they got good reasons. Charleston White is hard to deal with, right? So I think it's like Fort Worth T. Will is the dude who did the interview. Shout out to him. I ain't got no issues with you, brother. I'm sure you probably got some good reasons to hate Charleston White. I don't know. But if I had to make a good assessment, bruh, these accusations are probably nonsense. It's probably BS. Charleston White probably has never met this woman, probably don't know this woman. It's probably nonsense. Because if you're saying this man did this to you in this time frame, but this time frame he was in jail, then what exactly are we considering here? Like, what exactly are we looking at here? Especially if you have the option to go down to the police station and file charges, because there's no statute of limitation on a child being in Texas. Right. You can go and file this right now if you want. Like right now if you wanted to.
That's a good point.
But I don't think
that is a good point. There's no police reports. You haven't went to the station, but then somebody in the comments said, "Look, she already filed a report and the case is closed. She can't take him to court. They already had a case about it and it was settled. She has shown the paperwork, So maybe she's trying to cash in again. Maybe she didn't want to take the money from Charleston White because it's coercion or it's like her being complicit or something. But she wanted to get money in other ways. I don't know. But even if she take the money from him, she could still be like, oh, I was being manipulated. So if I was her, I would have took that money and then exposed them. You feel me? If he was gonna expose him, I would have took the money and filed the police report and exposed him. Me abused you, right? Fuck him. Fuck. Y'all see, I still gotta watch that AB video. I put that work in before I watch that motherfucker. I'm like, let me watch this shit with y'all. Do a reaction tonight. I'm uploading this y'all tonight if they green it.